Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. Welcome to the best gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news channel on YouTube. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about Nintendo 64 emulation on PC with Simple64, and if you like to cheat, you're gonna like this update. So version 2023.09.1 just released, and it adds in cheat support, including syncing cheats during netplay, but there are a couple of caveats. It's based on player 1's settings. And in order to apply a cheat, you need to start a game, open up the cheats menu, select your cheat, and then restart the game. Simple64 is available for Windows and Linux. It's 100% free, it's open source, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Moving on, and we're quickly talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Ryujinx. As of version 1.1.1005, there's an improvement here to the Vulkan backend. It improves performance in Super Mario Sunshine on AMD and NVIDIA GPUs. Next up, we're talking about DOS emulation with DOSBOX-X, which just got its first update since May. So this update has a number of bug fixes and also a number of improvements, including IPX improvements. For example, they've added an extension here to allow clients to register their own MAC address. And speaking about bug fixes and improvements, next up we're talking about Java-based emulator Emulicious, which is an emulator for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Sega Master System, Game Gear, and MSX, and also MSX2. So the latest update here has a whole bunch of bug fixes, and they've also added .sc as a supported file name extension for games for the Master System. Emulicious is also 100% free and available for pretty much any single system that supports Java SE. And speaking about file support, next up we're talking about ColecoDS, which is a ColecoVision emulator for the Nintendo DS. And the latest version here is 8.6, and it adds in .dsk support. It's 100% free open source, and if you are curious about it, I'll drop a link in the description below. And continuing to speak about file support, next up we're talking about Xbox 360 emulation on PC with Xenia Canary, the experimental or more experimental version of Xenia. So after the whole recent kerfuffle about ISO support, which I would argue is now water under the bridge, they've added in support for zarchive files .zar. If you wanted to learn more about zarchive, I'll drop a link to the GitHub in the description below and feel free to check it out. There may be some benefits here to using ZAR instead of ISO, including some space saving. And speaking about space saving, if you like Pikmin and you like AR, you might like this new game from Nintendo. Pikmin Finder. It's a browser-based game using augmented reality that can be used on pretty much any single device that has a camera, and you don't need to install it. There's not a whole lot to it. You can have some Pikmin floating around your room, but it might be worth checking out if you like Pikmin. And speaking about Nintendo, next up, take this rumor with a massive grain of salt. Apparently, a verified and respected leaker claims that the Nintendo Switch 2 will feature backward compatibility, a camera, and Final Fantasy VII, possibly a remake. Again, take this with a massive grain of salt. I think the biggest part of this rumor is backward compatibility. That would be massive for Nintendo's next system. Next up, we're talking about a brand new Game Boy Advance game up for pre-order. It's called Goodboy Galaxy, and it's priced at €54.99, which equals about $60 US. And you can pick it up in physical format. If you are curious about this one and wanted to see some gameplay, I'll drop a link to their website in the description below. Instead of watching, which you can do, you can play instead. There's a free demo available right in the browser. Next up, we're talking about a ROM hack, and this one's for Pokemon HeartGold called Refined Gold Overhaul, and version 2.0.2 just dropped. It says here, Kanto has been reformatted and is now segmented into 2 tiers before blue. The player can choose to battle the gyms in each tier in whatever order they choose before moving on, Mega Man 7 style. They also say gym trainers and leaders scale off the player's badge count, so if you're in for a challenge, this might be what you're looking for. Link in the description below. Next up, we're talking about AYANEO, and AYANEO has just unveiled a brand new handheld, the AYANEO Flip. And they say here the Flip is coming soon, still top-notch aesthetics and design, delivering astonishing performance, unparalleled grip, and comfort perfected. a true gamer's understanding of flip. Unfortunately, there's still a lot I don't know about this device. I don't know the CPU, the RAM, the memory in this, the price, or even the operating system, whether it's Windows, Android, or possibly even Linux. But what we do know here is what it looks like, and it seems like AYANEO is taking on GPD. Now, personally, I don't know how I feel about this one just yet. Designs like this to me seem like laptops with thumbsticks. But this one seems like it's going to be a little bit smaller than a full-blown laptop here, considering the size of the thumbsticks and D-pad. I don't know about this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And last up here, we're talking about Linux, specifically Linux Lite. And Linux Lite 6.6 has released, and they say it's one of their largest releases on record since it began in 2012. So Linux Lite 6.6 is based on Ubuntu 22.04.3 LTS with a 5.15 kernel. And they say they've added thousands of lines of code with support for 22 different languages. Linux Lite is designed to be lightweight and easy to use. I'll drop a link to it in the description below. It's 100% free and open source. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, don't tempt fate, save your state.